So before we begin, I wanted to read from an American Dictionary of the English Language by Noah Webster. This is volume 1, 1828. So again, we are looking at Webster's 1828 Dictionary of the English Language. Just go to AMI and we find the word American. We're going to zoom in. And it says here, American, pertaining to America, okay? American, a native of America, originally applied to the aboriginals. The aboriginals, meaning people of this land, the indigenous people, right? Or copper-colored races. The copper-colored races, yes. America's a true old world. We had every phenotype here. We had every type of hair, and we had every shade of copper-colored complexion, from the lightest copper-colored complexion to the darkest copper-colored complexion, all right? So again, American, it pertains, right, originally to the aboriginals, the copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, right? Europeans, that doesn't mean white person or so-called pale skin. Remember that Europeans include the black, so-called black Europeans that came originally to. American is applied to the aboriginals or copper-colored races here found by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So now it's applied to the descendants of Europeans only, huh? They want to try to classify other people as so-called Native American and try to exclude you from being indigenous or so-called aboriginal to the land when you are copper-colored. So let's not forget what an American is. 1828 Webster's Dictionary. All right, so we're in this book now. It's called Researches, Philosophical and Antiquarian Concerning the Aboriginal History of America by J.H. McCullough, MD, and this is written in 1829. All right, and we're on page 13. We're going to read right from chapter 1 a little bit, and it's regarding on the complexion and physical appearance of the Aboriginal nations of America. All right, right away. So he starts saying, we propose in this chapter to lay before the reader some accounts of the physical characters of the Aborigines of America, such as they appeared to the first discoverers of the continent, not only in their really natural conformation, but also in those peculiarities of appearance, which from perverted ideas of beauty, they either inflicted on their bodies or forced them to assume, while the system was in a growing state and susceptible of such vicious impressions. Systematic writers have also considered the native tribes of America as fifth class of the human race, under the distinct term of the copper-colored race. To this term, we have much to object, not only as respects the Americans, but other nations, from whom it seems to us they have been properly separated by this theoretic distinction. In order to have a correct understanding of this subject, we should be told what is the copper color, for that metal has several different hues. So that's very important. You know, copper does have a lot of very different hues, but we know the general, you know, like what the color is in general, right? Copper, all right, and who that resembles more, all right? So any person who inspects a large quantity of copper coin before it has been much handled may perceive 8 or 10 shades of color, all right? So it makes sense that they will call us the copper-colored races because we were many shades, not only rising to an ashen yellow, but also deepening to a darkish blue, very dark, up to the darkest hues, all right? That some of these varied tints may to a certain degree resemble the general complexion of the American Indian, I am not disposed to deny altogether. He knows it does. But if the color of copper, as usually seen in sheets or other manufacturers, is assumed as the tint, it is a variance with all the observations we have been able to make. The word applied to human complexion is ill chosen, for the mind always associates with it the idea of metallic luster, which the skin is incapable of assuming. Now, this author is trying to say that naming the whole, Americas and the whole people living there copper colored to him is a problem because he doesn't consider it like that. Because what he's going to point out, which is what I'm going to read, is that there's other countries and other peoples, especially in the Southeast Asian islands and countries. And he's about to point out there also been reference to have copper colored skin. All right, so why would they have copper colored skin? Like, again, this is the true old world, America. All right, so are they related? Are these the same people? All right, it says Hainan Islanders on the coast of China, copper colored. So this is from a book, Grocer and Winterbourne's History of China. The inhabitants of Disappointment Islands, deep copper color, and that's from Hawkworth's Voyage 114. It says Malays of Timor, deep copper color, the Malays. Nicobar Islanders, copper color. Asiatic Research, Volume 3. It says Nassau or Pagi Islanders of light brown or copper color, like the Malays. All right, so he goes on. He's basically making a point. All right, so after he shows those examples down here, he says the preceding quotations from Dampier, Byron Mears, and Commodore Porter, who were accustomed to the sight of American Indians, show the evident resemblance in complexion between them and the natives of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, be the color what it may, and their general resemblance to brown men of other parts of the world. Brown men, American Indians, may be directly inferred from Bolney's and Humboldt's observations on this particular subject. All right, the scholars he just quoted. Now, continuing the book, it says, the few Malays or Makassars that I have seen bear so general resemblance to our northern Indians that it is not easy to say in what respects they differ. All right, so now, what do Malays look like? The original Malays and the Aboriginal Malays, right? This is what they look like. So, what is the difference? You tell me, all right? And America is the true old world. This is the motherland, all right? So where are they really coming from? So a little bit more down, he says, we consider, therefore, that the color of the American Indians in general is brown. In general, the color of the American Indians is brown. Who is brown? All right, we're not talking about tans here, all right? Because nobody's really black. Who's really black? The color black. All right, like crayon. Again, we therefore consider that the color of the American Indians in general is brown, differing in intensity with various tribes. Intensity, so there's more intense in some, or darkness, more darker, right? And less intense or lighter. All right, according to the tribes and according to various localities. But that is almost impossible to say what that brown color principally resembles. The cinnamon, in our apprehension, the nearest approach to it, cinnamon. Again, what does cinnamon look like? And who is that? Who looks like that? Who has that complexion? Though still too inaccurate or general comparison, under these circumstances, it seems most correct simply to use the general term brown man, who will thus, so he's basically saying, I prefer to call them brown men than copper colored men. But, this is what he's pointing out. But what is he really saying? Kind of saying the same thing, right? Who will thus constitute an intermediate class between the white and the Negro races. So dodge the hijack right there. Continuing, there is undoubtedly a great similarity in the appearance of the Indians of America to each other, except in a few remarkable instances, a few, all right, few, to be noticed in their proper place. Yet there are also various shades of difference among them, showing the impossibility of reducing them all under one general class of complexion. Though their color is commonly assumed to be that of copper, we find travelers constantly remarking the variations of hue among different tribes. As for instance, all right, so we're just going to show a couple of examples of what he's talking about, right? So it says the Indians near the source of the Peace River are of a swarthy yellow complexion. Swarthy means dark, so dark yellow complexion. Mackenzie's Voyage 195, all right? The Cherokees are a lighter color than adjacent Indians. Barton's New Views, depends on what years, right? The Mandans and Groves Ventries have a light complexion and hair inclining to chestnut. All right, so it's just from description of Ohio 152. Now, I have images of Gros Ventre. I'm going to show you, we have shown you, that are, they look very dark. They don't look light at all. But, again, same tribes have different, complexions. The complexion of the Quapas, like that of the Choctaws and Creeks, is dark. Again, the complexion of the Quapas, like that of the Choctaws and Creeks, is dark and destitute of anything like the croupiest hinge. Nuttall's Travels, page 83. The Mexican complexion, according to Clavijero, is olive. History of Mexico, volume 1.
Herrera, volume 11 says, the women of the Chiachiapollos of Peru were so much whiter and more graceful than other Indians that they were sought after by the Incas, all right, so they were of a lighter complexion. These specific women from this specific tribe in Peru.
It says here, Baron Humboldt remarks, if the uniform tint of the skin be more coppery and redder toward the north, it is on the contrary among the Chaimas of the deep brown, inclining to tawny. The denomination of copper-colored men, Rhodis, could never have originated in equinoctial America to designate the natives. So he's saying that in South America, they're actually more brown than copper, all right? They're more copper towards the North America. That's what Humboldt's opinion is, all right? It says, description of the Orinoco by Gumila, volume 1, page 107. The color of the Indians on the borders of the Orinoco is so diversified that he could not say nothing of it under one general head. But we know the Orinoco, especially that whole area, the Amazon, Suriname, French Guyana, has so many Swarthy, as they will call it, dark skin or so-called black tribes, all right? But they also did have light tribes in those areas too. That's why they're saying they're so diversified there, all right? We didn't just have one color over here. The white Kurus of Brazil are of a darker tint than copper, darker than copper. The Guayurus of Brazil, this is the Southeast History of Brazil, volume 3, page 671. Go do the research and verify all this if you want. I already did. Continuing on the next page, it says the Charruas are more black than white. Again, the Charruas are more so-called black than white, without any mixture of red or copper or coppery or the ruddy reddish skin. They're actually more black. The Guayanas, a different people from the Guaranis of Brazil, probably differ from all Indians of those nations by the lightness of their color, and some of them have blue eyes. All right, so that's interesting, taking account to what they're saying. Again, if you really go into these books, they'll tell you straight up, but they have no European mixture. All right, so they knew it was just part of what they found here, different types of complexions of people. Remember, this is the true old world. Where did all this stuff originate? Now, this author goes on to quote other unknown tribes or descriptions that we may not have known, but I mean, they chose these images all the time. So he does verify there was tribes that looked almost like Europeans or very light like Europeans. These are from the same Europeans saying that, but they know they weren't just like them. They would just say fair complexion. All right, let me just give you an example. It says, Captain Cook observes we could never positively determine their color. At Nootka, they being encrusted with paint and dirt, though in particular cases when these were rubbed off, the whiteness of the skin appeared almost to equal that of the Europeans. All right. So remember, these are different regions. It's like Siberia, almost in Alaska, and different regions in South America. Even in Central America, there was a lot of light-skinned tribes all over the place. All right. But we already know that because that's the image they always gave us, right? So what I want to show you in the same book is going to tell us the ones that we never hear about. All right, so let's get to that part. So he says, though America possesses some dark brown men approaching to black, yet it has been almost universally believed that there were no aboriginal blacks or Negroes found on this continent. All right, so that's the hijack that we grew up with, right? But from considering the peculiar circumstances under which a black race was found in North America, I hold it more than probable that the common opinion is erroneous. Torquemada says the Californians show no manner of surprise at the sight of some Negroes that accompanied Vizcaino on a voyage to this coast in 1602. As I have never seen Torquemada's Monarquia Indiana, I can only quote from Venegas. California, Volume 2, 239, who says from Torquemada that when a Negro was ordered to distribute some biscuits to Californians at the Bay of St. Barnabas, the natives seemed greatly pleased at the sight of the Negro and signified to him that they lived in friendship with correspondence with the people of his color, and that not far from thence was a Negro village. Again, a Negro village. All right, this is an historic book. Torquemada undertakes to explain this remarkable circumstance by supposing that Negroes had been left there by some ship from the Philippine Islands. But as he does not quote the time when such an event had occurred, we presume it was a mere conjecture of his own to explain an anomaly of which he had been previously ignorant, because he didn't know. They don't know. They didn't know. And at first we were disposed to think the supposition plausible. But as it was found on extending our researches, again, now pay attention to what he's saying, it was a possible theory that maybe there was no Aboriginals, blacks, as they call them here in America to him, this author. But after extending his research, right, that the Negro character of the Indians on this coast has been distinctly remarked by various navigators. It's all over the historic records. They found you when they came here and they wrote it down. And I've been showing you this, especially in my other series, from Indigenous American to African American. Showed you a lot of references, books, different navigators, as he calls them, letting you know who was here. All right? Even of the present day, we deem it impossible that any few individuals who were probably without women with them when left on this coast could have been able to communicate their peculiar complexion and features to entire nations, even after a period of above 200 years. The subject is still in obscurity and belongs to the terra incognita of America, laying between the rivers Columbia and Gila. The authorities I have been able to examine respecting the present Negro appearance of the Indians in that region are as follows. All right, so pay close attention. The color of the Indians of the Californians mission, seen by La Peyro's Voyage, Volume 2, 197 and page 212, very nearly approaches that of the Negroes, whose hair is not woolly, and in another place the color of these Indians, which is that of Negroes. Landorf, who visited San Francisco on the coast of California, confirms the observations of La Peyros, for he says in Voyage, page 440, the Indians there are of a very dark complexion, approaching to black, so-called black, so-called Negro. Do you remember who you are? They're talking about you.
Thank you.
They have large projecting lips, broad, flat Negro-like noses. Indeed, many of their features, as well as their physiognomy and almost their color, bear strong resemblance to the Negroes. Their hair, however, is long and straight. Again, this is the true old world. We got all types of hairs, all types of complexions, all types of phenotypes. The original people are from here. From the plates and chorus voyages, of which I had but a slight examination, they appear to resemble very nearly the blacks of Hindustan, or India. Hindustan, that's what it was called, of whom a few Marathas only have fallen under my personal observation. But it is well known that many of the Hindu race are only distinguished by straightness of hair from the Africans, for they are not less black. They are not less black. This circumstance has been noticed by Strabo as a distinction between two races. As we cannot admit for a moment that these American blacks were ever driven by stress of weather across the Pacific Ocean to California, unless it be proved they are the descendants of Negroes left by the Spaniards, it will follow of necessity that they have been settled in America from the earliest ages. All right, so he's saying if you can't prove that they were shipwrecked from the Pacific Ocean, or had to migrate over here from there, or that they are descendants from Negroes or so-called Negroes, which are just other Indians, right? Left by the Spaniards, then these are people or Americans that have been here from the earliest ages, and I would say from creation. In another part of America, if reliance can be placed upon the correctness of the relation, a race of blacks were seen at so early a period of our history that it seems impossible to avoid the conclusion that they were aboriginal. Okay? Peter Martyr, we got this right already? Decade, page 97, and describing the journey of Balboa across the Isthmus of Darien, that's in Panama, AD 1511, gives the following history. All right, and we quote Peter Martyr. There is a region not above 2 days' journey from Quarequa, in which they found only blackamoors, and those exceeding fierce and cruel. The circumstance of finding them there, he attempted to explain by the conjecture that they were Ethiopians who had crossed the Atlantic to rob the country, and that after having been shipwrecked, they had been compelled by the natives to take refuge in the mountains. All right, so what is an Ethiopian? It's not a specific person in a specific country, especially in these times. This is in reference, again, the etymology of Ethiopia, burnt face, these are in reference to people of dark skin. All right, Ethiopian. All right? But all this is pure guesswork, which we shall not attempt to disprove. All right? He's letting you know that that whole thing, that it was Ethiopians that came from Africa over here. No, that's, again, guesswork. And he's not going to even try to disprove that because it's not even real. For it is not more plausible than the supposition that they were aboriginal. You understand? So it's actually farther. It's more extreme to say they came from somewhere else and then they shipwrecked. And I mean, that's the story. Come on. What about the rest of the places in America? Did all these nations and tribes all shipwrecked? Huh? So he's saying, so if you're gonna believe that, then why wouldn't you believe the fact that they could be aboriginal? All right? It is only interesting to us to inquire whether the fact really be as represented by the historian of Balboa, or whether he may not have been deceived by some external filth or paint, whereby these people were remarkable from other Indians. On this subject, I have nothing to produce, as no other account of this particular part of America that I know of mentions the circumstance which perhaps has arisen from the belief that these blacks were descendants of the runaway Negroes, which the infamous slave trade had brought to tropical America at a very early period. All right, so we dodged the hijack. We've debunked that. We know the Spanish and Portuguese were enslaving American Indians. All right, these were the people they were replenishing the islands, the plantations with, the colonies. American Indians, they were calling them Negroes. Remember, Negroes, the word was synonymous with slave at one point. All right? Now the author continues. All right? If I am not much mistaken, however, we shall be able to show that the relation of Peter Martyr concerning the blackamoors, as he called them, again, seen by Balboa, was substantially correct. So he was correct in calling them black or dark skinned. For we learn from Stevenson, Travels in South America, Volume 2, in 387, the following singular facts, which we shall quote at length. Again, we're going to quote this guy. All right? The natives of Esmeralda, Rio Verde, and Atacames in the Republic of Colombia are all Sambos, apparently a mixture of Negroes and Indians. So what does that mean? You know, starts the hijack. Indeed, the oral tradition of their origin is that a ship having Negroes on board arrived on the coast, and that having landed, they murdered a great number of the male Indians, kept their widows and daughters, and laid the foundation of the present race. Now, it's funny because when you start doing a lot of these research of how they try to say so-called Negroes got to these places in these Spanish countries, you're always going to see a pattern. Most of the time, you're going to see a shipwreck. I mean, I can do a video about it, trust me. They just making up things, talking about shipwrecks, all bunch of shipwrecks. If this were the case, and it is not very probable, the whole of the surrounding country being peopled with Indians, it produces a striking instance of the facility with which an apparently different tribe of human beings is produced. For the present, Esmeraldenos are very different in their features, hair, color, and shape to the Chino, or offspring of a Negro or Indian. So they were calling offsprings of Negroes and Indians Chino. I thought Chino meant Chinese. These are commonly short and lusty and of a very deep copper color. Thick hair, neither lank nor curled, small eyes, sharpest nose, and well-shaped mouth, whereas the Esmeraldenos are tall and rather slender, of a lightish black color, different from that called copper color, have soft curly hair, large eyes, nose rather flat, and thick lips, possessing more of the Negro than of the Indian. Right? So sorry to hijack. The language of the Esmeraldenos is also entirely different from the Quichua, which is the general language of the Indians. It is rather nasal and appears very scanty of words. It is very singular that so intelligent a writer as Stevenson could listen to the story that the black natives of Atacames could have descended from a shipload of Negroes who had in some immemorial time arrived on this coast. For every word of comment or explanation that he has made is in direct opposition to such an hypothesis. And if the offspring of a Negro and Indian be entirely different from the natives of the Atacames, Esmeraldos, by what imaginable rule can we refer to the origin of these people to such progenitors? The whole legend is ridiculous. Again, this whole stories of Negroes from Africa, slaves being shipwrecked, is ridiculous and has been, no doubt, a Spanish or Indian suggestion to explain the singularity of the fact concerning which they had no other method of explication. All right? They were making up things. I know not whether the population to the northward partake of this black complexion of the Atacames, but these last are now about 400 miles from Quaricoa, where Balboa is reported to have seen a similar complexion. So, I find it interesting that I found a book from 1829 where the author is actually questioning his indoctrination, the whole out of Africa.
That's all. You want to hear the rest of it? If you haven't watched it, go to my brother Camille Ahau. I pronounce it different, but for you, AHAU platform will watch it. All right? Get him that view time. Go and check him out if you haven't. I see my girl Snoo went ahead, subscribe. I appreciate that. And everybody else, go ahead and subscribe. Now, this is for Camille, because I got plenty of books. And besides, America was not a division from Canada nor so-called South America to other islands. Andros, all the way to Jamaica, Haiti, all that. All that's part of America's. Even Easter Island is a dark continent. It's all people need to know. Now, black and white, as I was reading about, it's an accessory. Has nothing to do with reality. That's why I say, if the pale skins will realize this and realize they've been lied to, besides they're ignorant, because when I told people that Ashkenazi created the white supremacist movement, everybody thought I was crazy. How's a Jew? I said, let me tell you something. They take on many different characters and they run around many different places and they create the confusion. Who do you think is funding right now? We don't have the gold and silver. We have gold and silver, but it's hidden. Who do you think is funding this fake, this, what do you call it? In the military, it was the same we had. Well, anyway, this war over there with Ukraine and Russia. Who do you think is funding it? They're two of the same people. You have a TikTok star with another bisexual president, excuse me, with original cons. When you ever hear one of those dumb pale skins and one of them little retarded stolen identity mongrels, Gog and Magog, talking about we was kings, sound like they're idiots. They don't even know their genealogy, their true genealogy. Ask them what their blood type is. Ask them. You won't see none of them idiots down in further south, like Brazil and all them places down. You won't see none of these idiots you see here. These reservationists, they are 503 1C. They are. And the civil rights movement, for the Indian rights movement, the Indian Rights Act, that's ours. It has nothing to do with them. Now, we know that some months down the road, they had this little saying or mongrel standing up in the office looking down. It had nothing to do because they didn't write a Bill of Rights. They didn't create one. And see, every time I challenge these idiots with it, they go on and start digging our stuff and attempting to do exactly what the Ashkenazis did, rewrite history and make it like something belongs to them. Features and everything except for accepting their reality. Do they have some bloodline? All the women that were raped back then. Listen to me, man. Oh, this is for everybody. Dark Continent was for my brother. He knows it. But a lot of y'all have a hard time assimilating with this and dealing with the reality and the truth of it. Because we have these borderline narcissistic sociopaths, dichotomy of what we call Down syndrome, inversion. You know what Down syndrome causes, right? Well, that's who's running amok, just like those inbreds who believe they're in power. Now, if I was something outside of y'all, or lived a little longer than everybody on this earth, who would I go to exact some revenge amongst the righteous? And who would I utilize to show them all the powers of old that we once knew, that we put away with because it was out of order? We would use those disaffirmities. We would use these mishmash. Look at this. Any of y'all seen Charles Schwab when he went swimming? With all the technology out there and everything, why does he look like, a old half-ass stuff, broken sausage? And yet he put on a suit. And that's the reason why I'm growing my beard. Now, I'm going to shave it off one more time, but it's for a reason. Because this is very important. Have y'all noticed after this 20-year war, this 20-year slop of human sacrifice to carry over this other stuff to keep people subverted or diverted from the reality of what was going on? All of a sudden, all the pale skins want to look, run around with beards on. When we were starting to rock them with our dreads, Rastafari and all that. See, they don't get it. They love their fictional whitewashed history, to which a lot of them are coming up out of that line, and that's a beautiful thing. But the majority is still stuck in their ignorance. When I was looking at West Side's video, right, I went back and looked at it, and I remember watching Trump sitting there with these fake ass, they're natives born on this land, but not aboriginals, and they had the nerve to talk about indigenous. They had the nerve to obscure themselves using that term as if flagrantly throwing it in our faces, not knowing that we're still at war. And a lot of our people are starting not to give a damn about these costume characters or anything else. And now you won't see it on the media, but it's happening and y'all know it. The problem is y'all keep moving like you won by yourself. You don't want to be tacticians. You don't want to know how to move together. You don't want to know how to free yourself from the fear, the false fear you have. You're scared to lay down, rather stand on my damn feet and know another one's about to pick up the mantle. I'm going to do something I thought I'd never do. I'm going to destroy my AR-15. I'm going to cut it in half. Watch. I'm going to show you how powerful we are. I have dreams. I see things. I know things. I'm going to destroy this right now. I ain't getting rid of nothing. I paid for this. These old wackadoo little secret eight. I'm reading to you who they are. They ain't nobody. Nobody pays attention to that. All right? They got y'all convinced they somebody. I'm going to cut it in half right now. Dang it. All right. It's destroyed. It's cut in half. Now I'm going to throw it away. I paid for it. I ain't got to prove nothing to no punk. Because I don't need it. You give me sword, machete, and action. And I'll run through a whole multitude. I don't advocate violence. Let me put my goddamn thing back together. The fuck? Fake ass religions and everything else. They can suck ass. And like I said, I got a friend who makes ammo, who used to make it professionally. I can't say for what company. I got ammo, man. If you had a level 10 armor, it'd run right through it. I got ammo that run through goddamn 4 inches of fucking steel and iron. Oh yeah. I don't shoot it at no range, but I have taken one of my old steel targets. When you ever see one of them 2-inch steel targets, big, thick, square ones, went right through them. All 6 shots. Out at 120 yards, 150 yards. I didn't want to push it no further. Went right through them. See, when you have friends like that, and the thing is, I'm not into that. There are things, people out here. I was inventing making armor. I learned how to use something that you can make oil to make a tent. I learned how to use a handful of them pieces using certain resins, and it's stronger, lighter, not flexible, but you can put it on your thighs, you can put it on your arms, you can put it around your neck, your groin. You can mold this stuff with a vacuum and heat seal, and this stuff stand up to this. Not a whole bunch of direct hits, but the thing is, we don't want war. We never war. War like people. Yeah, I'm an inventor. I like to invent things. Told you all about when I was in Apex in New York, Avenue Americas. Air conditioning, refrigeration, auto mechanical, all the crap. I did the air conditioning, refrigeration, and I started realizing that we had a lot of gang members outside. And I said, I'm going to institutes culinary arts. Even though I knew everything, how to do everything, I said, enough of this. Because I'm going to end up having to shoot one of these dumb bastards or something like that. Even though I have some homies there, we rolled together, we rolled tight. And then 2 weeks after we're gone, somebody got murdered in the back passageway of Apex, where everybody goes to smoke a cigarette, hang out when they break. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks later, someone got murdered. I still went across the street, studied Krav Maga and the naked yoga and all that, naked yoga. I was the only guy with about 20, 30 women. I think they were just there to make sure I come in. It is what it is. I don't care. But there is so many obscurities, so many lies. And we got the people watching again can't hit the like. Like the like is going to kill them. I'm not asking you to like me. I'm saying I'm sharing knowledge. And if that is so hard with you hard-pressed individuals, and yes, I saw 2 individuals, and I wasn't surprised at, because I share when I'm going live on Instagram, which it goes right to Facebook. So I figured my auntie and a couple other, I was watching Navi's, so y'all subscribe to Navi Poets, subscribe to her channel. I was watching hers yesterday. But people come over and they can't watch. Why? Because, like I said, liberal or conservative-minded people are sick. Do you know that what you believe and what you fundamentally think is what you become? This is based upon facts. I have Hebrew people hit me up in my Gmail. Hebrew Israel. I said, no, it's not. Hebraicism is a way of life. It's like take meat and braise it for you meat eating motherfuckers, right? Yeah, I got some meat. I'm about to give it away. I told my neighbor, wife. I said, told her when your old man get in, tell him come through. I'm gonna give him. I got some beef. So I got those smokehouse beef sausages, real spicy. I got 2 things of lamb. I got a whole bunch of fish. I don't want it no more. I'm eating strictly raw. I don't care. I got bags and bags of lentil, white rice. I got tons of turmeric, curries. I'm like, what am I doing? And I got me 10 seeds of weed. I'm gonna start germinating those in a little flower thing and make sure I got the right heat, turn the heat off at night, blah, blah, blah. The watering right inside. Yo! Hold on a minute. Hold on, yo. Hello, ¿qué pasó? What's up, brother? Well, imagine, brother. You ain't got to trust me. Trust me. Oh, is that good enough right there? If you need me to move it again, just let me know, all right? And I got that. All right, brother. My apologies, guys. He's getting weeds and everything up. Now, as I was saying, and I got a pack of stuff. He was like, so I got to put it all in the bag. So we're gonna wrap this up here shortly. I'm gonna come back on and read. I gotta do some yoga upstairs, and I want to say this also. If you come on Caramel, I want you to know that I have 3 different maps, right? Let me add this in right quick. I should have said it earlier. They're designed by way of Sweden or whatever you want to call it, by whatever and whoever. Costa Rica and most of South America is going to be flooded, brother. So I know you kind of in the mountain areas, but nuclear explosions in the ocean, HARP, by design. Most people never seen a tsunami or a wave over 100 feet high. In literature, if you pay attention to writing, there have been waves that have come crashing down over 1,000 feet high. And I just want you to remember that, brother. And this is one of their designs. They have plenty. All right? And the fake alien invasion is not about it being so much fake. A lot of y'all don't know some of the armor and the suits out there. The crafts. To say that it's not possible, oh, it's very possible. Because more and more people are starting to be able to pull plasma and energy right out of our air. They made y'all believe, and this is on another topic, they made you believe that when you rub your feet on the carpet and you touch the door or a metal aperture and that shock is static. No, that's something in you in the natural hemisphere between the elements, the crystallization that shows your connection, but because you're not used to it and you cannot summon it at any time, which was once natural, it's considered static shock. Static is synonymous with what? Chaos. Shock is synonymous with what? A little young man at 14 years old being electrocuted. And then these little dumb pale skin and one goofy Negro talking about, oh, he earned that. This is what he did. If y'all didn't see that last year. The end of last year, beginning of this year, when those goofies on YouTube, I don't even think they're still up there, when they went to assert that by some fake documents. You need to know that there are many people against us. And when I tell you that there's many people walking this land, for you people that have a hard time because of where you lived at, all right, dealing with pale skins and some other people, a lot of them people, a lot of them, not all of them, not the majority of them, are kinfolk. I don't care. I'm talking about shades. You ever seen a couple of pale skinned women out there and it's not suntan and they're kind of like my shade? And then have y'all seen some of the ones that I told you about in Georgia, Florida, blonde hair and blue eyes, and they obscured to the pale face races and even held even low to certain Negroes in Parliament? That's what I call this crap. Why? Because they are us. A lot of y'all have a hard time dealing with the reality, but I have shown it for proof and reproof. And yet, because of people's narcissistic behavior, their inaptitude with their false attitude, refuse to have this common ground. Yet they will sit there and talk about Walter Plecker and Albert Pike and all these individuals, the obscurities of life. How can you talk about one and denounce the other? I don't get it when you come into the knowledge of it. I'm not saying go out there and start hugging them up and everything. A lot of y'all still married and sleeping with them. That's your bloodline. The bloodline's in there. It don't matter if you got children. Real talk. You can slice it up however you want, but if you didn't do the blood test beforehand, that's on your, because you was ignorant, you didn't know. Now, the reality is, are there some who are like quadruple, quintuplet agents. Quintuplet. Oh, what am I talking about? Triple agents. Of course. And 4 times, you know, play your side, play their side, play your side, and go right back and play their side. Yes. When we reading that in Arthur Kessler, when it came to the Rus, the Mohammedans, and the part they played, even though the Mohammedans were working with them, fighting with them, some of their elite soldiers, the Ottomans, the Turks, before they see, everywhere they went, they conquered and they killed everybody. When I told people the Vatican, the bones under there, that was not up under there. Those bones are from them wars, killing off the indigenous and the autochthonous people of so-called Italy. The Vatican is not a cathedral. It is not a place of worship. It is a place they use inversion. And that's right. And then you wonder why the Catholics and Protestants fought? Did y'all ever study it to have a clear understanding? No, all you think about is movies and the Irish Republican Army. You know what I'm saying? That's what you think of. Your conditioning, your programming. What program? Television, media, controlled by who? The black box, and more. That's just one. And here it is. People are really figuring out Swanson, you know, TV Den and all this stuff. And I'm not gonna go on to Scott's and all these different names are all owned by the same individuals. And when I was telling people about I'm not getting shots for, I was about a year. I was like, I'm not getting no needles, no nothing. No, I don't trust y'all. I told the B, I don't trust them at all. They're not packing the needles. They're not the ones in there who's putting certain chemicals into the water treatment facility that steams the needles and it packages them in a machine, and you don't know what's on the end of those damn needles. These people are sick. Now people are starting to realize they've been killing their people. Everyone. Doesn't matter what fictional crayon color you still want to hold on to, because I know it's hard for a lot of you to leave. That's why I started unsubscribing from anybody that has black or white on their YouTube channel. I'll unsubscribe. And the majority of them, and I got to say it, in some liberal damn cities, are conservative ideologies that are based on narratives that are just as similar. Unsubscribe. If they talking it, I don't care if I like the content. No, I unsubscribe. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't care who they are and what they're talking about. You know how important it is for you to have a team, a tribe to move together? A lot of you still moving by yourselves. You don't know how to acclimate to move with some others. You have an issue with people that know more than you, as if you can't know this, have the same knowledge, and it's not, and you're the ones who are the angst who building the dichotomy of foolishness. And it's those of us who do know something, but we always responsibly go, but I still lack a whole lot. You have an issue with that, as if you know me or those who are like myself, because only people who have those issues are the people who literally don't know nothing. It's always the people that don't know nothing that create more of the problems compared to those who walk in the light of seeking more relevance and knowledge. The people that know nothing are the ones who are always argumentative and selective and disinformative, and it's got to be a franchise of some sort or some false commodity. But no, nobody sees that. Why? Conditioning, the programming. If you don't want to free yourself from the programming and say no more programming, then who are you? What are you? I don't want to hear anybody talking about I'm Indian again. And yet you still spewing black and white out your mouth. That's an accessory. And not all accessories look good, do they? It boggles my mind, but I'm not intrigued by it. So the boggling is just, that's how I look at it. Like, I just want to fart and make you leave my space. I want to eat as many bad beans and onions raw until I get a gas bubble. I just want to let go, and right in your presence, up under your nose, and have you call me all kind of MFers and everything. Every time you see me, you can go, I'll be like, I stacked up on the canned baked beans last night. Like, I don't care about you individuals who are still holding on to your sickness because you don't do nothing. You can't benefit me. You can't lift me with your arrogant, foolish ways, thought process that is meager and deceptive. And y'all think you can own someone, get in a relationship. Oh, you belong. No, nigga, when I said 3 or 4 women, I meant that. There's plenty of them out here. Who the fuck is you? Go on to your single man and be the broken little motherfuckers you is. Or single woman or whatever. I don't care about you. I don't. I have no time. The position we're in right now, the baby's dying everywhere. Man, I have no time. How many women, sisters and sisters, brothers too, and children? I think it was over 26,000. Oh, I gotta look at the number again. I pulled it up. We're gonna look at this and we're gonna get off of here because I'm gonna come back and read. Now, I'm not giving medical advice. All I am saying is, if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be holistic. All I am saying is these numbers you can look up. The history is there. The people that choose to ignore it and sit there and go, oh no, I've lived this lie. Oh, I've lived this all my life. Yeah, you lived that lie. Okay, whatever. Let me pull this number up. Check this out. As of 2021, 197,907 persons of color were reported missing. Now, you remember now, when I read to y'all, color didn't apply to us. But seeing how they wanted to distract us and remove us from the land while they were creating new fake history curriculum in schools, color all of a sudden applied to us when it actually applied to Sicilians, Turks, Arabs. I'm dead serious. It was never meant for us. And then we had certain movements, pastors, NAACP hijackers, who all of a sudden realized when our people got tired of being called, Negro, it went to black. And then from there, Afro-American, and then back to black, and then Negro. And I mean, seriously, from indigenous or Aborigine. There's not one Native American on this soil that is that's orthogonous. Not one. They have our bloodline, many. That's why Geronimo and a handful of them, the majority of them ain't fight shit. They didn't care because some of them knew what their job was. But those who are half-blood are some of our relatives, regardless of the straight hair or not. I told you we were the first beauticians. Straightening hair and everything, created a lie, showed them how to do that. People used to laugh at the brothers and sisters conking. They was just doing an old tradition that was still part of who we were until the religious movements came in. Hence, Master Farad taking on 41 different identities because right at the same time when Islam was created, so was the Hebraic movement in Harlem. What was that, 1934, 32? And then Christianity took on its biggest form when I told you what Frederick Douglass had to say about that. And if Catholicism and all that and Protestant and all that shit comes from Christianity, what does that illuminate? And it is new. It is none of it old, regardless of what we read, because most of those people who are telling the truth are telling it from the perspective of what they've been involved with. So they're going to write from the perspective of what they've been involved with, like Arthur Kessler. Now, maybe he's going to learn more as I further read, and you'll see that dystopia of foolishness. Reason why he detracted and retracted. Somebody said Hitler, and they said Thatcher said it was a lie. Said, "Oh no, America, the Negroes in America are the jewels." 100,000% correct. Who put it out there and who wanted to script the lie? Because that's what they do. Clean up. Now, let's go ahead and pull this up because they have a hard time understanding stuff. Let's put this number in. Yeah, there we go. Now, that is per se. Okay, well, 2022, the state that has the most people missing, the highest rate of missing persons by far is in sparsely populated Alaska with 163 missing per 100,000 of the population. And why? Russia's only 55 miles away. How far is the Vatican from there? Who controls Alaska? We do, right? Have any of y'all ever been to Alaska and know how easy it is to go in there and take whatever you want and leave and it never be heard of? Now, when we talk about world population, according to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons (NAM-US) database, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered each year. Nationwide, there are roughly 6.5 missing persons for every 100,000 people. Luckily, the vast majority of missing person cases are quickly resolved. For example, in 2021, 521,705 missing persons cases were reported, more than 485,000 of which were resolved within the year. I bet that half of that's a lie. The number of missing persons, because then it wouldn't stand, would it? Right? You ever look at all the potted fields? Okay. I went to the one in Arizona. Oh. We had to retrieve a Navajo woman's body buried out there, which should have never been buried out there because the family was still here. And I was telling them, and they don't do it. I says, you need to zoom her and look at her body, to which they refused to. Now, the number of missing person cases has steadily declined since 1997, when nearly 1 million people were reported missing. In the past few two decades, communication has made it easier to keep in touch with the tracked persons, allowing missing person reports to fall by over 40,000. Now, look, I'm going to share this with you. How many of y'all watch Purge? Remember the truck driving around with the guy with the minigun on the back? Have any of y'all ever heard the stories about convoys of trucks going through certain cities at a certain time of night? And then the next day you have over like 1,200 people missing. And then they disappear in the mountains. And yet y'all sit on these little fictional high horses, well divided, like the little small hat mother suckers made you. Never wanting to come together. Don't know how to plan, feeling some kind of way about nothing, having feelings for nothing. And you sit there believing in these feelings. You ostracize yourself as if those feelings are pertinent to some reality. Boggles my mind. But I lose no sweat and no sleep over it. Why does it boggle my mind again? How can some people be so conflicted when everything's right in front of them? Oh, I know what it is. It's okay because it didn't happen to you. Oh, there we go with that selfishness. That solves nothing, doesn't it? That shows that certain peoples care nothing about what's happening on the earth they live in. Boy, okay. Messing with my tannerite. Why are you in there? So oh, you learn how to open it? You bubblehead. Okay. He learned how to open it. He's watching me too much. I guess it's more exercise. Get up and close it. Do you get where I'm coming from? Oh, we got 2 more people standing there, just can't hit the like button. Something wrong. No, it's so hard. It's just so hard. I'm not begging. I'm saying, damn, to beat the algorithm, to push it out there, to get it to people who it may matter to. There's nothing wrong. It's not going to hurt you. I guess it's going to kill your little finger. You're going to get deflected. You can walk around like this. Yes, I did look last night. When I was watching Caramel, listening to it, and I was like, oh, I need to let my people hear this. And you need to go over and watch it yourself, the whole thing. It's not even half the way. And I was like looking at the people watching. I was like, go figure. Here go the dummies. That's right. Even a couple of family people I grew up with, just dummies looking. Sitting there looking stupid. I'm looking at them, wow, it got your name, it got your account. And you can make a fake name up. Well, most people never even change their names. That's how stupid they are. Leave the cupboard alone. He opened it again. Stop opening that. Thank you. Joe, funny self. Excuse me. Oh, I love these right here. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, they say, what's that? That's a hollow point. Yep. And I ain't gonna tell you the grain either. You gotta upgrade your barrel to put one of these through, not stock. Trust me. This barrel right here, see how thick that is? Yeah. And I can adjust it. So, yeah. Yeah. Cut it in half my ass. Anyway, right? I appreciate everybody. Like I said, I got a couple of people. I subscribe to them. They might be trolls, but they didn't have nobody subscribe. And so I'm probably their one subscriber. I'm serious. I'll help anybody. Now, the people who are pushing narratives that we need to move beyond, I'm unsubscribing from them. If you have black and white and that's what you're talking, I'm unsubscribing from you. I want no more parts of it. We create the energy. We change our DNA. We control it. We are the cons, goddammit. And that's a fact. Or the children of those real queens and kings. The real children of those queens and queens. And you must change now. It ain't nothing gonna hurt the pale skin brothers and sisters to change along with you, because they will benefit from it. And the people that want to keep eating steak and whatever, don't say nothing. More power to them. It cracks me up, the people that want to stop people from eating meat. Oh man, go ahead and eat. Yes. Make it as spicy as hell though, and make sure you're getting enough potassium. Come to find out, these people that I was reading about, people out of them. Oh, they on TRT, all that stuff. Do you know on TRT it lowers your testosterone? I'm serious. And be careful with some of these new brands coming out talking about raising your testosterone. That shit might have a dry form of nanotechnology like mRNA. I'm just saying, this is what I've been hearing. I don't know. I don't have the things to test it. But I've been hearing, possibility is during a time when most people are pretty messed up, all these things are coming out all of a sudden. Let me say it like that. Eat healthy. If you're worried about the pesticide on it, that's another infraction you put up on yourself. Vinegar and baking soda. Get you one of those little things that will distill and it generates and creates bubbles that scrub and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Put it in there and sit it in there and run it a few times to get the pesticide and herbicide off. All right? And vinegar is good for you. Apple cider vinegar. At night, if I'm having a hard time going to sleep, I'll take the Ganejo, I cut it in half, and I fill it with, I put nothing but cinnamon all over it. 10 minutes after eating that, kaboom, I am out like a light. I love beets. My body's been having an adverse reaction to it. Okay? It may not be with all of you. Okay? I was over 16 years on clonazepam. All right? when I was only supposed to be on it for 4 to 6 weeks. And the VA, the doctors did nothing knowing this. That's why I told you. It was a Hindu fuck. Not the one that did my back surgeries. This nasty son of a bastard who tried to act like he was a pale skin. And now I only had 2 pale skin doctors says, Mr. Branch, we got to get you off of this. I says, I did it twice. Next you know, I feel like I'm having a major heart attack. And what do? I drive to the hospital. I goes, hey. And they're looking at me, how'd you drive here? Your blood pressure's up. I don't know what's going on. If there ain't nothing you can do, just make sure it's quiet around me if I decide to leave here. I'm talking about, you know, final. I said, these are the numbers. Call them. I had the doctors like this. He's ready to die like that. I said, let's keep going on. I'm going to give it up. But I can move. I can function. I have the tingling and numbness. Dude, I'm a nurse. I'm like, what the heck, man? I don't have no clots. And I'm sitting there going, They experiment on everybody. I said, oh, you know what? I got to move beyond that. And when I was in Facebook, the first thing I did to assist me, I had to, so you remember this, the Big Jersey, if you're in here, anybody else, remember when I was telling everybody I got to remove these fillings? Because I had fillings. I wanted to hurt people. And I knew I was doing wrong. I had to remove the fillings. And it took me a year, if you remember right, I had a year of removing these fillings. And then all of a sudden I became numb. I became blank. And I said, oh, that's worse. So if someone like does something to me, and yes, that's how I snatched the guy's hand at the Spirit gas station in Kevito on the res. They knocked the guys out in the backyard, 3 of them back there, drunk squabbling. I went out there to pull them apart and they swung on me. So I knocked all 3 of them out and drug them back across the line to the other guy's backyard. By their feet, grabbed 2 of them. 255 pounds, I grabbed both of their ankles, had 2 heavy bags hanging out in the back. They watched me for half an hour beating on them heavy bags. Back there with my Bowflex and big ass 2 45-pound plates, standing straight up, pressing them and curling 45-pound plates, just curling them like I'm retarded with no shirt on in the sun, just as big as the damn lummox, falling off roofs and stuff, landing on my back, still back flipping and all that with messed up back and knees, man. I says, I know I can be stronger than what I am. Now, does it mean everything's going to heal? I don't know how that works. I've got damage. Real damage as an ordnance man, heavy bombs and 10-man short shop, having to pull a weight of 2.5 men, loading AIM sidewinder and 9 sidewinders by my damn self, which was a 4-man job. Me and Derek Walker loading 500-pound bombs on whole aircrafts with hernia bars. They call hernia bars for a reason. Just me and him at a low level from an Aero 9B with the what's called makeup skid. 500-pound bomb. Y'all don't know what that looked like. Things big. 500 pounds bigger than me and him together. And here we is with hernia bars screwed in the front and the one slide in the back. You ready? Whew. Whew. Line it up. And I had to get low because I was a little strong. I get low, get it on the lock. Clank. If we dropped it, and we would do the whole 12-hour shift, loading 500-pound bombs, me and him, and then loading up AIM 9 sidewinder missiles by ourselves because the shop was that undermanned. Imagine doing that 7 days a week out in the middle of the ocean, not pulling in nowhere. And then everybody looking at us, why did we look so evil? And fingernails, we couldn't even get the black from under our fingernails, showering that twice a day. Big, we all big as damn tree trunks walking around. Some of us started to question the food they was giving us. We was like, and so I'm sitting there going, but James, and I'm sitting there saying to people, because they was James, but you're a powerlifter. Nigga, the body, it's a body, man. I hadn't went beyond the scope, but maybe I had not known it. and I was eating all salads and fruits and vegetables. I refused to eat the meat. And I was strong as an ox. So the body has got damaged. 1,000-pound bomb. Back went out. Nothing I could do about that. Knee went out. Walking around with this big thing on the ship. You know, the stairs like this, right? You got one crutch, leg, holding rails, trying to get around. General quarters, general quarters. Oh, man. Sitting in the ice tub, the big metal ice tubs, just sitting in this thing. You got 5 minutes, Mr. Petty Branch. So I can get back to work. Got a flu shot and got the pneumonia. Damn near died on the USS Dale, DDG 989. I was the only ordnance CDL who can launch the plane, prep it, walk around, do the walk around on it with the pilot, and tell everybody else what was wrong from their shop that they need to look at. I was the supervisor for the line, but I was also the supervisor for ordnance. Them motherfuckers gave me a pill about that goddamn big. I was 105 temperature. Couldn't even see straight. Couldn't stand up. I was sweating like a damn roasted pig over the fire. They gave me this damn pill. And in 35 minutes, I was normal. Shit was gone. Showered up, back at work. I didn't get sick for God knows how long. I don't know how long, man. That one pill, and that let me know. I never seen the captains, the officers, the pilots sick, nobody. How many times do they usually say most people who have had pneumonia, how many times do they have pneumonia before they transition? What's the great number? Now, so you might know that what I'm about to say, but how many times? What, 3, 4 times people have pneumonia usually succumb, pass on, die? Right? Is it something like that? Can somebody look it up? Can somebody put it up? I'm more positive you would think I would never have pneumonia, right? How many? Did anybody put it up? Snoop, you pull it up? How many times, most people that die from pneumonia, how many times did they have it before the last time they got it, they succumbed to it? How many times? First time to get pneumonia, second time, a third time. Is there a limit? 6 times they might have got it compared to when they was 5 years old, maybe when they was 12. Again, when they was in high school, 16, 17, working, maybe twice, or 20, 21. How many times is it known in the medical field that people get pneumonia before they actually succumb to it? There is a record they've kept. Get from back there. Get off the Xbox. You stay off my Xbox. It's mine. You can watch me play. That's Xbox One, fool. Did you find it yet, hun? Most people do initially recover from pneumonia. However, their mortality rate is 5 to 10% of hospitalized patients. It can be up to 30%. So that's one time. One time with pneumonia. How many times do most people get pneumonia? before they die. I know you're looking. I can wait. 14 months outrageous. White Hub. Okay. I stay with my MMA channels. I just got a notification. I gotta go watch a fight. You didn't find it yet, huh? Let me see, man. You quick, usually quick with the information. Yeah. I'm trying to see if you. Did you pull anything up? Oh, shit. Let me see if I can pull something up. Characters who are born from the system are returned to the system even when they die. The fuck am I gonna do that? No, that's a lie. Oh, let me do something else. Remove that. I forget that word means something else, even though I know that we believe it means. Okay. Okay. How many times can you use pneumonia? No, nigga. It says get, you stupid son of a bitch. It said penile implants. Oh, they retarded. Nobody's got penile up there. Oh, my fault. There we go. I had it wrong. See, I see what you got that from. Recurrent pneumonia is defined as 3 or more episodes of pneumonia in a lifetime, or 2 or more episodes within a 6-month period. The most common symptoms are cough, wheeze, I forget how to say the word, and chest discomfort. I can't even get the word out. What is the average death rate of pneumonia? The overall 30-day mortality rate was 15.7 equals 299, comprising 85.3% hospital deaths and 14.7% post-discharge deaths. Individual mortality rates for the 3 age groups were 7.3%, 16.1%, and 29.7%, respectively, for patients aged 18 to 64 years, 16 to 84 years, and 85 years and upwards. And at what age? Most time, 70 plus. Discover more reasons why seniors are at higher risk. This is why pronounced pneumonia. Being said, those 70 plus make up 88% of pneumonia deaths in the U.S. 88%, 70%, right? Which is the main cause of death to pneumonia, which is usually dealing with the upper thorax. Pneumonia is the single largest infection cause of death in children worldwide. Children. Listen, I've had it when I was a baby. Well, around 3 or 4. And that's when I had the castor oil, the egg, the whole bam. And I was good to go in 2 days. And wrapped up in blankets, even in the summertime, to sweat it out and then put into cold water to bring the fever down. Literally, ice cold water with big, the blocks of icy chip. Yeah. They'd hold me in there, freezing their hands off and everything. They made sure I stayed alive. Is it bad to have pneumonia multiple times? Young patients without known Stop. Comorbidities should not develop recurrent pneumonia, and repeated episodes of pneumonia should trigger a search for an underlying cause. Excuse me. Okay, well, cystic fibrosis and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But peep this out. Influenza viruses, respiratory Seneca virus, and SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. They had to put that in there. Well, let's listen to this. I've had pneumonia over 22 times. Walking pneumonia, didn't even know it. Quite a few times. But the funny thing is I got it from people. I literally got it from other people. Until I realized some people blow their nose and don't wash their hands, who are sick. Touching on doorknobs and rubbing my eyes when I had contacts. I used to wear contacts, right? That's the problem. I just don't wear them no more. I use a hot water treatment to heal my eyes. Hot water, gaze, hot water, gaze is Japanese old way. When I was in karate, I learned, that's what one of my one of my instructors used to utilize. 22 times. Last time I had it, shit, I think it was some second year on a reservation. And before that, it was in Millville. I had my car, but I wanted to ride the bus. And somebody sneezed behind me on my neck. And I remember the next day going, man, I'm feeling a little faint. Sneeze, you know, a sneeze can go up to, you know how far a sneeze can go, bro? Y'all know, and I ain't more than 7 feet. It can go 7 blocks, a sneeze, y'all. You know how far a fart can go? I'm serious, y'all. This is not a game. This fool sneezed on me, and I remember going, nigga. And everybody looked at me, man. I wanted to bop this cat. The next day, boom, I was 101. But the many times I've gotten it, I would just sit still. I would eat soup, do the steam, vapor up, you know, hit a humidifier, and just tolerate it. I did take cold Tylenol, you know, the tablets, not knowing that it was actually making it worse. I used to get it more than once. You build up an immunity. I've never gotten pneumonia, and I'm over 35 years of nursing. That's what I'm talking about, baby girl. Yeah. But I always got it from somebody. I never just developed it out of nowhere. Well, except for the time I got that goddamn flu shot. Right before we went to that, we all had to get them damn shots. And I was so against getting these shots. I was like, oh man, I don't want to get this shit. I'm not a religious motherfucker. What the fuck? I didn't know, as being an autochthonist, it went against my motherfucking way and heritage. And the shit don't protect you. How many people I know get the flu shot still end up getting sick motherfucking months down the road, man? This is all BS. But anywho, I just wanted to share that little. That's why it's best you are what you eat, but you are what you think as well. All right? And the biggest thing that I know we all have a hard issue with it is self-control. I'm still working on that. It's a hard fight. If I was to sit here and say it's an easy fight, I'd lie. I'd be lying. I know I've said it before, but I always say that it comes with, you gotta have people around you who are going to hold you accountable. And I'm not talking about beat you down. That's not holding people accountable. It means, look, bro, what you said, come on, man, stick with it. And not to turn, because, you know, we dealing with an emotional society of individuals. Oh, man, I ain't helping them more because, you know, you never needed that motherfucker in the first place. Anybody that gives in that quick, nigga, bitch, just don't get married. To death do you part my ass. Because that'd be the first motherfucker that run. For those people to believe in that Christian shit. All right? Christian religion, excuse me. I need to be more diplomatic with this. No, I don't. Fuck that bullshit religion. Anywho. Yeah. But anywho, this is what you see me eating. This is my second meal. This is not my first. Now you would say, but it's the Sabbath. Nigga, who said I can't eat? Who said I can't talk to you? It ain't like y'all sitting around here. Okay? TV, not watching it. I just want y'all to hear that. You don't hear no music playing, right? None of that shit. Today is when I gotta let this. And why you see me doing shoulder presses, right? Well, that was my 6th set. Every day I'm going to do a body part. Just like that. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, it'll be trunk twists again. And stretching. Then I'll be up on the chair over there or on the sofa here because I got a long one. It's like a bed. And just sit on the side and hit my back with just pulls. Just using like 25 pounds. Hit about 50 reps on both sides. And then after that, take my cold shower. Like when I get off of here, even though I washed up this morning, I didn't take a full, shower. I'm gonna go up there and take a cold shower. Use my pine tar or, whatever, my shea butter, whatever one I want to go wash myself with. Cold shower. Recovery. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I hope you appreciate our brother Kiramil. There's a lot of other individuals doing great stuff. Check out West Side. I haven't heard from Mac Mean. I don't know what's going on with him. He might have just took a hiatus. There are a number of other individuals out there. Check out Navi Poet. She does good reading, her research is ongoing. So I like what she does there. I think it's phenomenal. Just pay attention, Trauma Hawk. We have a little group. He shares a lot of great information as far as like with farming and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta prep. You prep today like your heart's going. I gotta go pick up some more water. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick up like maybe 12 more things of water. Even though I filter, it's good to have it. You dig what I'm saying? I don't know. Nobody can shoot me with shit no more. I've had enough of this. These brain dead motherfuckers not even knowing what they're using until it's too late. It's always when it's too late. Y'all need to know how important you are to the world, even though the world doesn't see you that as important. It's funny how we created damn near everything, and these stupid motherfuckers running around like they're entitled to the world themselves. That grinds my gears, but I look at them, I see it as a weakness too. And when you start seeing it that way, you start having a different rationale. You realize it's very unimportant. It's because you know who you are. You know how powerful it is when you know how you are, who you are. I know I got to show y'all because I know some of y'all, this nigga, I bet he done. Because I know we got narcissistic mental inaptitudes running around. Oh, I say what I got to say. I don't bite my tongue. Get it twisted. There it is. It's right there. Everything that everybody's been sending me. I ordered some books. See, this is what y'all don't get, man. When I remove it and I say I'm gonna order some books, I match with if you're not keeping how much you have in this bank, they watching. I go ahead and I say, okay, go to savings. I pull out $135, put it with it. Let's see what the books that will have lined up in thrift books. It's $270. Okay, all those 4 books come to $225. Let's order it. There's chump change left over. So what? It'll go to this one. When I withdraw that, it goes to that account. Then when I'm ready to order the books, I'll go, okay, let's go ahead and order the books. Sometimes I order the books. I haven't even pulled nothing over there, and it's just out of my little fiat. You see what I'm saying? And I'll wait until that gets to a certain point. Then I say, okay, we can get these books now. Oh, snizzle. I get all excited. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know I told him I'm going to get them 2 books, but look at that right there. That's what I do. Yeah, I had to, I mopped the floor with the little wood shine and stuff. They're going to take the carpet up and put porcelain, because I don't want carpet in the damn hallway over there in the dining room. I don't like carpet like that, y'all. Wooden floor, porcelain. But I have books everywhere. Everywhere. If you came in here and be like, James is a book hoarder. No, I'm neat, motherfucker. Don't get it twisted. Nah, I know I got a bunch of vitamins here. That ones I'm giving away, some are empty. And I always look at what worked, what doesn't work. And I actually call and write the company. What are y'all sending out? What kind of poison are you inflicting upon the people? What are you talking about? Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Click. No, I say, I made you aware. Click. Then I go and I look to see what's being pulled off the shelves. I'm serious. I ask people, what vitamins or your minerals you're using? What's in it? How did you feel? You know what I mean? Anyway, let me get off here so I can get myself together and come back and we're going to read. And I know y'all enjoyed the reading yesterday. And for those who paid attention before, because I really want to move on to some other books as well. We'll go ahead and get that done. I have, don't worry, the Gods of Eden and the Giants of America is right there. Okay. Is he done? I want to bring my truck back over. I had to take my truck way over there. Okay, I think he's done. I can bring it back. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm gonna give everybody a shout out. You know how it is. You know I love y'all. I really do. And everybody, the new subscribers, I appreciate y'all. I really do. Let's go ahead and give some shout outs. I need to screenshot all this, man. I could write a book. Rondo, what's up, beloved? ABJR. Snoo, you know I was already hitting you up looking for them answers. Awesome. It was awesome, right, Stu? It was really good. He's very informative. That's why, and a lot of that stuff I actually have on here. That's why I showed y'all this. See this right here? This right here. I have everything. It's almost like if I went to the library and I wanted to pull up microfiche. See this right here? And look at this, West Indies. These are books that I read. There's a whole bunch of them. There's all kind. You type in what you want to put. I have many saved. All right. And so what I do is I go into my saved, and I've got hundreds of books. All right. And YouTube, this is Internet Archive. That's all it is. And you just go in there and then you sit there and you can read or you can listen to it. Okay. And it gives you other books and all that stuff. How many copies? How much is there? What print is it? All right. I've got it on my phone. I got it on my laptop. I've had it on there for a long time. I used to share it. This very same thing on Facebook. And one time I got banned for like 30 days. And I called, I said, "Are y'all?" That's when I realized I started cursing them out. And then I started putting the pictures of these people who run a Facebook, all these foreigners. And when I told people fact check was Hillary Clinton's cousin who worked for CNN, everybody said, "You full of shit." Then all of a sudden somebody goes, "Yep." You got to pay attention to these things, people. All right? The brother does very good work. I love it. When I see something, I'm like, yes, excellent information, excellent read. All right? He's a hard worker. He knows what he's looking for, and he knows what he believes. And I'm thankful for all the others who have woken up and come around. And sometimes we can't waste ourselves bantering about the people who haven't. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people still going at and arguing with these idiots, but you got to let them be idiots until they choose not to be. All right? So let me finish giving shout outs. My apology. Mikey Hill, Grand Elevations. Yes, I'm soaking my feet and down a line of rose tea. All right. Rub it down with some damn, like I said, get some of that black seed oil. Does feet good. Here's Caramigos. Yes, that's Caramigos right there. It should be in my description as well, I think. Herb Ho, what's cracking? Ray Wolf, Ground Elevations, bro. You see what's going on, kinfolk. Max V Production, yo, turn it out. I wonder if there is any relevancy with Farrakhan using this name. Yes. Oh, you like the gems? Yeah, you know. I got to break it up because we can go hard sometimes, you know. Yo, Gua, what's going on, family? What's happening? Chukma, Malcolm. The cat taking over. Man, let me tell you something, man. I think if I got cat mittens to box with, I believe when I'm doing my little shadow boxing, right, in the down, I'm over there, you know, when I got the light, when I'm shadow boxing. And when Muhammad Ali was teaching when we was little kids or in PA, to have a shadow boxing, running around by the tree with the shadow and the sun chasing the shadow, so we get the footwork done. You know, he be right there and he stands up watching. I'm like, It's like that dog when his brother is, I don't like master and owner. When his brother's squatting, the dog, the German Shepherd, starts standing up and squatting with him, you know? If anybody's ever seen that. Keep on talking. I appreciate that. I just kept going. I'm gonna keep the window open because it's pretty warm. It's about 72 degrees. I got all the windows, everything open. The catacombs full of Negro bones, exactly. And that is a saying. When I was a kid, we did not use the term black or African. No, never. The Life of an American Slave Narrative. Frederick Douglass, an 1845 memoir treatise of abolition, written by African American orator, a former slave. And we know he was never called an African American until fake ass fraudulent Obama got in office, and then fucktard Trump come along, and then, you know, all of a sudden they started changing everything. That's why they shut down Wikipedia, and Google went on a hiatus, and they started doing all these updates in the algorithm thing, because they knew that they had a bunch of new generation motherfuckers they call millennials and Z. And not to knock none of y'all if y'all want to be called that bullshit. Don't never let them call you, like they try to call us the X generation, X-Men. Man, they could suck a X-dick. But anyway, we're black. Exactly. Come on. Back in the 40s and 50s, you call somebody black, you got dead. Right, that he was was still all religion, but only the Christianity. Slave-holding America. Peaceable. I already, so I've been reading that to everybody. And he wasn't African American. He was never a slave. He was in government. Why? Because we were the original people. They whitewashed and flipped everything up on his head. Yeah, I've already shared it, hon. You've been on here. You know, I keep that note. What slave would tell a motherfucker what religion is and not of this land? No, he didn't give a fuck about no religion. No, it's bigger than that. He didn't care about no religion. He liked what he heard of it because he knew this origin of it. It's deeper books. That's their shit. But the most important part, and when you read it, you look at, but yet at the bottom, see, that's contextual, like Martin Luther King's. And here we find the Negro languishing in the society of his own land. Malcolm X, how long out before he was murdered? When he returned in Harlem, talking to the brothers and sisters. You don't like, you and I are Aborigines, yet you don't like to be called that. James Baldwin, there's tons of them. You know, tons of them. But yeah, Peninsulas autobiography now, The Life of an American Slave, published in 18. Yeah. I see no reason, but the most deceitful one, calling the religion of this land Christianity. I look upon it as the climax of all misnomers. Honey, yeah. Child Cupid, he's all right. You got to see when he runs and he slides and bumps into the wall. I be on the floor blowing snot bubbles to the roof, to the ceiling. Wisdom again from all the traveling. You know, actually, I knew quite a bit then. I had to try. You know, I had a choice, and the Navy was like the way to go because everybody said, "But you'll see more of the world in the Navy." You know, and they was right. You know, they was right. Hey, Margaret Abrams, come out and buy some Arizona land near you. It's a great plan. Awesome. Gray will spouse. They keep trying. Hey, what's going on? Sis, trying to block us from you, but you come on, y'all come on, man. Get this land while you can before it's too late. All right. From the morning, however, they right, we're around to meet you. Yes. Peace and bliss and all. Hey, Joshua, what's cracking? What's going on, beloved? I'm still looking for how many times I want. Yeah, you know what? It's there used to be a chart that showed every year the number. I'm not pulling it up. How many? Like 5 and 6 times. Most times people succumb after the 5th or 6th time. I had it 22 times though. Mild to very extreme to walking. You know, there's different ones. Now they've added the fictional COVID bullshit in. Excuse me. I get over in the morning without. Yeah, I don't trust them no more. And they created that distrust. Wow. Never get shots. Yeah. We are the world. We are the future. 3 primary colors, Sue. 3 primary colors. You stand up on it. All right. Yes, ma'am. I will check the bank app. I checked it today. Yeah, that's what I did. Nobody donated. You hit me off though. The last one. 38. Remember? That's right. We don't allow it. That's right. Right. Very dumb. You saw me. and when I'm drinking, he's like, look, when he drinks his water, right? He's got to touch it like this. He's got to move it. Like when I'm doing my glasses, I'm sitting there looking at something, I'm turning it. He is literally picking up my traits. Now, if he goes and I get a female and has some little kittens, which I would love for him to do, that's why I didn't get him spaded and none of that. He don't spray nothing. Because that's right by now, he'd have been doing that already for the last 6-7 months. But no, it's me and him, and he'll get his water, he'll look up at me. Instead of going, because they can't see, he'll move it and splash a little water on his paws, and he'll lick his paw, and he go, oh, yum, 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 yum. I'm like, ain't this about a business? Oh, yeah. Take your time. Appreciate it, Margaret. Louis Gates Jr. is like, yeah, fuck him. We're not going to give them people no more energy there, brother. Red, green, and blue. That's it. Primary colors. She had taken in Gene Kilroy, first promotion manager as a young. Right. Oh, yeah. I know. Because of what's going on right now. Exactly. The sad thing is, I look at these people who work at these banks, and they live right around. I feel sorry for the people who get upset and angry. And these people are kind of snobby with certain people. Hey, George, what's cracking, man? But they kind of funky with some people. And I've listened to people walk out of places and slam the bank door. Motherfucker. I would hate to see things go down. And these people are not thinking about that. And the authorities, they don't care about that. That's part of the whole thing. You dig what I'm saying? And it's disturbingly sad. Yet I don't have time to let it weigh on me. You dig what I'm saying? I don't have the time to allow it to manifest anything else. I just see it, and it's like, it's just messed up, But it is what it is, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. In the description, I believe everything is there. You got the Copper Shaman. You got Tola Cherokee. You got a bunch of stuff in there. TRU HERU. You got our brother, Which God Clothing. He's making fabulous clothing. I'm going to put a few more posts up. I got some more pictures of some of the clothes he literally makes. We support our own. If you want to get a pair of jeans, get his. I'm talking, and it talks what I'm saying, bro, you got to make some slacks, and you got to make some regular jeans, too. You know what I'm saying? Affordable. You know what I'm saying? So I designed sneakers. I designed clothes wear. I was in the Navy, 1985 and 86. I had these drawings. And one. No Nike sign, just and one. And it was like, we're powerful as one. And sure enough, I had a little black and white memo pad. I was drawing all these khaki pants. I was a breakdancer, I was an artist, graffiti. And I had this idea of clothing. I had and one. I had these sneakers I had drew, these shoes, right? They could slide up over your feet. I get out the military. I go home on a visit, and they got this thing called Foreman Mills. And Dwight goes, remember that thing you kept talking about you was designing? That and one stuff? I said, yeah. Why? I want to show you something. He took me in East Orange, Main Street, to this place, and it was Foreman Mills. I ain't never heard of no goddamn Foreman Mills. I was like, okay, well, what's this? He says, it's a clothing place. It's cheap, Places that got like wrong kind of stitches and name brand stuff, they send it here. Walk in the door, and there it is. And one. Now, this is 4 years later after I got out of the military. I've been working at Cisco's down in Jacksonville, Florida. It's foreman, dock foreman. And working for Sears Termite and Pest Control. Both of those. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? I couldn't believe it. I could not fucking believe it. Now, because when I left the military, I had 2 vehicles I had bought from selling drugs. I left them there. I used to give grandma money all the time. I came back home and act like I was broke. I told you I had thousands upon thousands of dollars. I had, like a Jew. I had it well put away. My duffel bag was hidden well, sewn in the, in the bank account. Act like I had nothing. I wanted to see how everybody would respond and behave after all the stuff I had put up with and went through, losing my son, cheating wife. And I saw they were still the same ugly fucking people. I love them. But it seemed like they got worse. And it took one little thing. Going out there with Kid Disco. He was on dope real bad. And I was riding around. I was driving, so obviously I wasn't on it. And I was watching. I was watching everybody I saw when I was 17, 16, 15, 18. Watching what they was going through, how they were acting and carrying themselves. I didn't see no cohesion. I didn't see no unity. And I knew it was time to go. I had PTSD too, so I was like, I gotta get the fuck away from here. All right. And so I went back over to New York. And I went to Queens. So they had that PTS thing that send you off to Lions. Or you could do it there if it wasn't so severe. Mine was from all the way back to childhood. My PTSD went all the way back to childhood. And I worked with Nicky Barnes' cousin, Tops. He was a Special Forces Delta Force operator. And he was the head over there. And we laughed and talked, man, chatted. He was a wonderful cat, Mr. Barnes. Yeah, Nicky Barnes. Yeah, I'll tell you, I know some people, y'all. But he was ODA, Great Beret. And big old powerful motherfucking Negro. And my boy Abdul, Muhammad from Newark, New Jersey. He was Army, so he was there. We was all working, housekeeping, getting paid pretty good money. I just didn't want to keep that job at the VA. I didn't like some of the things I was saying and some of the smells. And anyway, then I worked with LL Cool J's mom in the pharmacy. He used to come in. I'm like, yo, what up, L? Red, with mom. I'm like, she in the back. And then it was time to move on, and I moved to Brooklyn. I always loved Brooklyn. My uncle's Red Hook. I didn't want to be. Where I was at was pretty dangerous, but I like being over there by Herkimer and all them places over there. The park, playing basketball, and the great shopping, and having a place where I could sit down, regardless of what's going on, and people knew how I moved, and was at the gym or the boxing, going down to Soundview, or hitting Manhattan, going to the, you see my pictures right there, Mandalay boxing or whatever, because I was always at boxing and working out, always. And then met John Laguna, Puerto Rican brother, Vietnam, and he was like, yo, Red, and I'm like, yo, I was like, how much it cost to stay there? He's like, it's pretty cheap. I was like, oh, yeah. I said, because I'm really tired of being around people. I really didn't like being around people, y'all. I remember I stayed in the park in the Oranges for like almost a year and a half. No home, no nothing, through the seasons, through the cold. Like I said, I know how to dig, build lean-tos and all that shit underground. This is when that kid had him. He used to go buy me my bananas and my oranges. So I was scruffy, big beard and everything, washing my Levi's in the little river and shit like that, and my shirts and t-shirts and drawers, long johns. And after a year and a half, almost 2 years of living in the park, that's when I went to New York. Excuse me, I dropped that part out. Yeah, I stayed in this big park. You walk by me, you wouldn't see me. Yeah. Anyway, so in the Bronx, I started working there, and they realized, oh shit, this guy knows how to work a jackhammer, make concrete, and bricks, do brick, mortar, and sheetrocking, and laying tar, on the, and I was working, again, and with all the bets, the crack shit was real. I almost was tempted to sell the shit right there. Could have got rich in that motherfucker. And I got tired of it. I had the little Italian cat. He must have been high as fuck, run at me. I told you I had to, in front of old Vietnam, got a big dude. I had to snatch his ass up. It was all on footage, on video, and whop his ass out. I broke my pinky. It was bent sideways. But I tried to pop his teeth out on my pinky. Wrong finger to use, y'all. I got strong fingers. And when I popped it out, I punched him with it still out and broke it. And then it kept knocking his head into the floor. I was trying to kill him, I think. But because I snap, I see red. So the guy on the camera out, he was like, James, he jumped up. You snatched him out of the air and flipped him. He said, everybody's been watching the video. I was like, don't run and jump at somebody who ain't gonna move. You never know why they ain't moving. Anyway, after that, I made all the Thanksgiving. I cooked all the turkeys, and I made homemade. I was a chef. I made homemade. At that time, I was going to school too, y'all. I was going to school. Apex, yoga, the Krav Maga, the martial arts. I was doing all that. I just couldn't stand around there with all them motherfuckers acting retarded. Hanging out with the break dancers and all that. Looking at the new guys doing stuff. I would get down, do a little bit, studying capoeira over there in the park, working with the ASPCA. And that's when I said, you know what? Walking up and down the street, I saw the Institute of Culinary Arts. I was like, oh, dude. Went in there and talked to them. Next thing you know, on the 2 weeks down the road, I was Institute of Culinary Arts, 14th Street, It's like, and besides that, they had back with the movie theater down there, they had that Dark Horse Comedy, they had the comic book store. So I always go over there, get the model, go with ring, this, that, and other, and get my Dark Horse Comedy, my comics, excuse me. So then I moved over to East 243rd Street, Westview, East 243rd Street, in the Bronx, that's when I got my service dog. By that time I already had my first back surgery, I think, and Charisma. Got her from Mount Vernon. I was right at the Christmas of Yonkers, Mount Vernon, in the Bronx. So I used to walk through all of them. I mean, I used to jog through all of them too, like jog all over the place. And Charisma became my service dog, and that's when I had that serious anxiety attack out of nowhere one day. I was patrolling the streets with the Guardian Angels. I think it was not that long after the Gotti trials, because I was one out of four of Curtis Lewa's security team over there at the courthouse when he would pull up, and then the Gottis would pull up. And I think we had one Neptune Beach. We stayed the night in this church, went over there by James Stretch. We all trained, worked out a little bit. Violence of action, that was part of the handbook. And I think it was like 2 weeks later, I was walking up the street, taking his grandparents taking care of their granddaughter. And she loved me to death, and I always bought her snacks and goodies. And I was on that losing weight thing. And I remember I had to sit down on the side of the road. It felt like I was having a heart attack. 270 pounds, 75 pounds, just hulking. And yeah, about 2 years later, I met this young lady and her daughter. Didn't know the history. Luz Bonilla. Husband was a tattoo. He did one of my tattoos. He was a jailbird, big old Puerto Rican dude, big old, and his brother was bigger than him. And we hit it off. Wasn't having sex or nothing. We was, I like to go out and have a good time. you know, and she was driving back from Jersey just to meet me in the Bronx. I didn't know that she was married to this mom. And he acted a fool. And I ended up beating both him and his brother's ass. Renee Jarvis on here, she'll tell y'all. She witnessed it. Everybody they were scared to come out the elevator and come down the stairs. Security guard pulled his desk back and got behind it. I beat the smack out of both of them. Beat them. They had to call the ambulance. I kicked them both into the elevator. Damn, they knocked her off the thing. The manager, the Jew, was telling me, "You murdered the pay. I ain't paying for shit. Put some cameras. Stop bringing these sick people up in here." I stayed on the floor, right, first floor, right, because I couldn't be going up with my back surgery and my knees, you know. But that day, I beat the smack out of both of them. They had to call the ambulance for them. And that's why I said it's time to move. Got charisma. She was going at the door trying to get out. She would have. And I moved to Vineland, New Jersey. I didn't want to have sex, but you know, we did. You know, it was good. You know, she was like, "Holy shit." And then, you know, Christian marriage. I was like, you know, I know Robert Romano, the mayor. I think he can just marry us. Is that cool? Because I'm not going up in no goddamn church being around these motherfuckers. She's like, okay. I was like, okay, we'll do it like that, like a contractual, you know. Then I started to see the problems, and I started learning the stories from all her family members, and I think that triggered her, and she started showing her real self. And I was in college again at that time. And it's not bad mouthing her. You know, people go through a lot of trauma in life, people. Everybody, all of y'all know your traumas you went through. We either going to be conducive and help each other, or we're going to be toxic and make each other worse. That's why I said we got to learn how to breathe. We got to illuminate one another. We cannot hold people to a pass. That's why it's called past. You pass it. You move beyond it. Or past. It's been passed. Tense. But I couldn't move beyond the hypocrisy of the stupidity that what I was seeing. And though I am what I am, David Bellingham saw me one night. He came and stayed, and I had to grab her daughter and walk her ass down the stairs, bent over like a damn dog. I was getting ready to throw her out the window. I snatched up. I moved so quick. David, everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, well, you know, I hope I contain myself. So I feel like I can. And everybody got scared. And whenever I moved like that, and when I beat the guys up in the backyard and all that kind of stuff, I had a name for hurting people, but they always came looking for the hurt. So, yeah, I'd say liberal people are stupid. Just even wear the name liberal. Something wrong with you. And that's the story. Now let me get the hell off of here. I appreciate y'all. We're at the 2-hour mark. I told you I got tons of stories to tell. All right? Anybody else come in? Hey, Papa Daddy, what's cracking? George Wisher, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking? What's cracking? I love y'all all. You know I do. Cassandra in Arizona, I mean, city of the future. It's an awesome community. Yeah, as long as it ain't a 15-minute city. I never went there. Okay. For the children. For the children. Animals are awesome. We have 2 cats. Yeah, I call them my four-legged little brothers and sisters. I don't even call them animals no more. I call them manimals, like teeth. Foreman Mills. Yeah, I saw my stuff in there. I was like, 15 years later, I'm like, somebody got me, and found out that it was a military motherfucker, but I couldn't find out the name of the person in the Navy who sold the shit. Got a nice little fat check, son of a bitch. Motherfucker got me, you know? Pale skin motherfucker. It might have been a nigga, but everybody was saying it was a pale skin motherfucker. Like, I was going hard. I was willing to spend about $10,000 to find out, because I was going to hurt the motherfucker. But good thing I didn't. Just put, there we go. I like to smell that. Tried to kick it to me. Yeah, yo, all of them were funny. Remember how it was back in the week? Because we grew up around all that shit. Naughty by Nate Tretch and all of them. Ben Rock. I hung out with Glenn. I mean, we all, Queen Latifah. We all always hang with the brothers riding motorcycles. We all, see, me and Sue, we grew up with all that. And I was a Twin City breakdancer. So battling it with some of the guys from Rocksteady and New York Breakers, this, that, and all these other places. 10-Star B-Boys, my boy Dave, Disco Dave, Kid Disco, all of them, Uno. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's T. I know you don't want to hear That's T, hun. He was from Brooklyn, but he became ahead, but still respect though. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, family. So let me get off of here. 2 hours. I love it. And I'm going to finish these little fruits right here. I can't really stuff my stomach like I want to. I think I'm going to keep my fish, though, because I love fish. But I ain't buying no more. I got to stop over at the Witchcraft place and get some of those little things to start growing some more plants and stuff. I got PVC pipes. But like I said, if people really get together, I'll sell everything in here and pack up and be in that truck on my way. Jamil Shamsi knows it, whoever. I'll go down there with Rondo, be like, yo, 27 acres, let's get something cracking, brother. It doesn't matter. I'm not going back over there. I lost 64,000 acres over in Old Town, Winston-Salem. I don't care about all that no more. They got all the family and all the motherfuckers in the soul, half the shit. I don't want nothing to do it. I got a place where I can get 10 acres right now for free, for nothing. No, I'd rather be with some people, got some land, and take my talent and skills. You know what I'm saying? If it's the last breath I take, I mean, working is cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in that. I'm just saying. I'm a person that's really about moving. I'm not about motherfuckers that sit lamenting on emotions and feelings. I don't like emotional feeling motherfuckers. I can't stand them motherfuckers. I don't like emotionally disturbed feeling motherfuckers who can't handle it. Can't handle the verbalage or the fact that some people can be very consistent. You dig what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm going to go and get off of here. I appreciate you all. My beautiful sisters, my beloved brothers. 2 and 1. You already know what time it is. I'm going to holler at y'all shortly and get the reading on.